Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're traveling back in time to ancient Egypt. Now, I know what you're thinking, pyramids, pharaohs, gold, cats, the whole shebang. And yeah, ancient Egypt was totally awesome for like the 0.1% of the population that wasn't stuck in terrible jobs. Because beneath all the glittering gold and those fancy tombs, most Egyptians were just regular people trying to make a living. So buckle up as we take a hilarious, sometimes horrifying, and always fascinating journey through the absolute worst jobs in ancient Egypt. Get ready to be thankful for your cushy modern-day gig because trust me, it could be way, way worse. Alright, let's start with the most iconic ancient Egyptian job, the one that immediately springs to mind: pyramid building. You've seen the pictures, those massive stone blocks perfectly fitted together reaching towards the sky. Ever wonder who put those there? Well, it wasn't aliens, that's for sure. It was tens of thousands of regular Egyptians toiling away in the scorching desert sun. We're talking backbreaking labor, hauling those multi-ton stones using ropes, logs, and sheer manpower. Can you imagine? No power tools, no safety regulations, just you, a giant rock, and a whole lot of sweat. Plus the pressure. One wrong move and boom, the whole pyramid is off kilter and the pharaoh is not going to be happy. So yeah, pyramid building, definitely not the dream job it's cracked up to be. Moving on from one unpleasant job to another, let's talk about embalmers. Now, the ancient Egyptians were obsessed with the afterlife, right? Mummification, elaborate tombs, the works. And who were the lucky folks responsible for getting those bodies ready for the afterlife? You guessed it, the embalmers. But can you imagine spending every single day surrounded by dead bodies? Talk about a morbid way to make a living. And the smell? Ugh. Don't even get me started on the smell. Plus, embalming wasn't just about wrapping bodies in linen. It was a complex, messy process. Think removing organs, packing bodies with salts, and all sorts of other fun stuff. Honestly, you've got to hand it to the embalmers. They were dedicated to their craft, even if it meant getting up close and personal with the deceased on a daily basis. Chapter 3. Reed cutters up a creek without a paddle, but with a sickle. All right, time for a change of scenery. Let's head to the Nile Delta, where the reeds grow tall and the reed cutters, well, they cut reeds. Sounds simple enough, right? Wrong. First of all, imagine spending your days wading through swamps. Not those pristine, Instagrammable swamps either. We're talking about murky, mosquito-infested swamps teeming with who knows what lurking beneath the surface. Then there's the actual work. Cutting reeds all day long might sound relaxing, like some sort of ancient meditation. But trust me, it wasn't. It was backbreaking labor, hunched over in the sun, using a sharp sickle to hack away at those tough reeds. So yeah, next time you see a papyrus scroll, spare a thought for the poor reed cutters who risked life and limb, and probably sanity, to bring you that ancient wisdom. Chapter 4, Fishing for Trouble and Maybe a Few Fish. Let's face it, the Nile was the lifeblood of ancient Egypt. It's where they got their water, their transportation, and of course, their fish. Which brings us to our next terrible job, fishing. Now, fishing in the Nile might sound idyllic at first. Imagine yourself in a little boat, the sun on your face, a gentle breeze. Okay, snap back to reality. Fishing in the Nile was no walk in the park. For starters, those boats weren't exactly luxury yachts. We're talking about small, unstable vessels that probably leaked like crazy. And the fish, they weren't exactly biting all the time. Plus, remember those crocodiles we talked about earlier? Yeah, they loved fish too. So not only were these fishermen competing with each other for a decent catch, but they were also dodging giant reptiles with a taste for human flesh. All in all, fishing in the Nile was a recipe for disaster. Chapter 5. Ancient janitors cleaning up after the pharaoh, literally. And finally, we come to the job that nobody wants to talk about. The job that's been around since the dawn of civilization, the ancient janitor. Now, every society needs people to clean up the messes, right? And ancient Egypt was no exception. But imagine being the poor soul responsible for cleaning up after the pharaoh and his entourage. We're talking about palaces full of people, no modern plumbing, and probably a severe lack of air freshener. Emptying chamber pots, sweeping up food scraps, dealing with whatever else the pharaoh decided to leave lying around. Not exactly a glamorous job, to say the least. And let's not forget the sheer scale of it all. These palaces were huge, sprawling complexes. So yeah, spare a thought for the ancient janitors, the unsung heroes of ancient Egypt, keeping things, somewhat, sanitary one chamber pot at a time. Outro, thanks for watching and be glad you weren't there. So there you have it, the worst jobs in ancient Egypt. From backbreaking labor to stomach-churning tasks, these jobs were definitely not for the faint of heart, or stomach in some cases. But hey, at least it puts our modern-day problems into perspective, right? Next time you're feeling stressed about work, just be thankful you weren't stuck hauling stones for a pyramid or fishing in crocodile-infested waters. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the worst jobs in ancient Egypt, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fun historical content. Let me know in the comments which job you think was the worst.